Hey, and welcome to the 91 Day Business Spotlight Live. My name's Jonathan. I'm your host, and today I'm really excited to have with me Dan Hunt from Meraki Performance. And we're going to do, if you're not familiar with these, every day we go live 2 to 3 times a day, and we're promoting entrepreneurs and small businesses and giving you a chance to get just an opportunity to speak to our audience about your business. That audience is a little over 50,000 people across the United States, and we're excited, Dan, to have you with us today to talk a little bit about Meraki. So just to get started with, let everybody know what do you do and who do you serve, Dan?
Yeah, first, just appreciate you having me on and allowing me to kind of spotlight and share a little bit of what I do. So with Meraki Performance, it began in the athletic space, really helping athletes mentally be where their feet are and be able to really master and manage the thoughts and the thinking that help them enhance their performance, and then recognize and disrupt the thoughts and thinking that diminish that performance. And so there's a lot of different things that go into that. But we believe that when individuals you like really focus in and clarify a purpose, and when they identify like who they are, there's a level of self-awareness, and we say originality, that then they can pursue excellence. And when that happens, the greatness within them is able to come out, right? And we believe that greatness is within everybody. And so it began in athletics, and now we've slowly transitioned into more of a corporate business space, as we realize, we spend, probably two-thirds of our adult life working, in a corporate setting or in business. And we want to help individuals find fulfillment and purpose in those spaces and be able to bring their best to the work that they do.
I love that, Dan, and I love what you do. It reminds me when I was a very young man and back in high school, I was at a sports camp and they talked about if the mind can conceive it and the heart can believe it, the body can achieve it. I've carried that over into business, and it reminds me a lot of what you do. It's really helping people get the right mindset and uncover their potential, because I think we have that hidden potential in all of us. It's just a matter of getting it nurtured and bringing it out. Talk to me a little bit about how do you work with either a sports team, because I know that's still a big part of what you do, or on the
Yeah.
corporate side. How do you work with people? What does that engagement look like? Just yeah, kind of give us an idea of what might that look like. I'm assuming it's even a bit different between obviously athletes and corporate, but can you share that with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a variety of different ways that we really support either athletic teams, individual athletes, or whole businesses, or even their directors, right? Or like leadership. So one of the ways that we do that is we come in and we do, kind of our, I would say, flagship offering is performance training. And so we set up a time where we come in. It can be, 2 to 3 hours, a half day training or a full day training, where we really dive into the core of bringing the greatness within you out, right? And so we hit those core areas of, purpose, originality, and then excellence, in that training. And so that's one of our flagship offerings, both in the corporate setting and in the athletic setting. And then we also have a lot of, we kind of branch out from there. So we do leadership seminars where we'll host an event and bring people in and talk about a specific topic, related to, purpose and originality and excellence, and then, kind of some topics that stream from that. We also offer one-on-one coaching, which has been really big within the corporate setting, as directors and managers are trying to lean in and not only bring their best, but also how do you lead others to bring that out as well. And then we also have begun to keynote speak. So a lot of organizations will bring us in and say, hey, we don't really have the capacity to break down and have you work with every single team we have or department. But we would love to have you come in and speak to our 500 employees or 500 individual athletes, in a big setting, and talking about something, like, thoughts versus thinking, or confidence, or being able to lock into the moment and what it looks like to be able to activate and get into what we call the performance zone or flow. And also when we move past that, or we get to that place of, fear, anxiety, worry, how do we back that off? And one thing, like with in the corporate setting, being able to navigate tough conversations as we get into that space and immediately get that fear, anxiety, and worry. How do we take a deep breath and step back and be able to get back into the moment and realize, like, there's a common ground between myself and this individual. Let's set that, and then let's navigate forward as we stay aligned with our purpose and values as an organization.
Oh, I love that, and I love how you work at so many different levels. Can you talk to us a little bit, Dan, and especially for our audience now, which is going to be largely, company based, entrepreneurial based, that type of thing.
Yeah.
What type of things do you see that your coaching and your training helps those businesses with? What are the results that they see as they begin working with you and developing some of these new habits?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of the things that I would just start out in saying in entrepreneurship, business, and we've heard it for a long time, but it's being able to understand like not only what direction you are going and making that extremely clear, but then also the things that you value and connecting your actions, habits, behaviors, and beliefs to those values. And so what I see a lot of when we go in is like everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to do good work. I would argue that the majority of people starting a business aren't starting it to fail, right? We're not doing the work that we do to not be good at it. But sometimes there's just so much external noise and external inputs, I say, and impressions that we lose track of who we are and where we're ultimately trying to go. And so I really try to come in and say, one, I truly believe leadership is influence in the context of
Mhm.
relationship. And so with these leaders, it's saying, hey, what's your relationship with yourself? Like, let's gain some self awareness of areas that you're good at. Let's maximize those things. Let's, some areas that you aren't so good at, let's lean into those and work through those and develop those. And then let's start looking at how do we leverage that influence with relationships with people within our organization. And so often we're challenged, like conflicts arise, or we have a situation within an organization where we don't know how to navigate it. And I really try to sit in the gap and say, okay, but where are we trying to go? And what are our values? And how do those show up in this situation? And keeping us true to ourselves, which is, I believe, is the foundation of confidence. I've seen it multiple times where directors over a course of 6 months go from, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, to, hey, Dan, I had this situation arise and this was challenging, but this is how I navigated it and this is how I connected it to our values. And I'm really confident in the decision that I made in the direction we are moving in. So I see the confidence level increase. I also see turnover, like less turnover as an organization, because people understand not only where we're going, there's clarity there, which clarity is key for performance, but then there's also values that we can align in, and there's an expectation around and safety that we can have moving in a direction. So I've also seen people feel safer and come into this work and go, hey, I know where we're going. I know who we are. I know how I'm going to show up in my alignment. And there becomes this safety and sense of belonging that they go, you know what, I don't want to leave for 50 cents more. Like, this work is meaningful. I love this team, and I know the work that we're doing is impactful.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you for sharing that. Dan, if we've got people that are watching now and listening, or and oftentimes watching the replay, what's the
Yeah.
best way for them to reach out and connect with you and learn more about how they could work with you? What's the best step for them to take?
Yeah, so we are on basically every social media platform. So we are constantly posting things that we're doing. We try to, again, there's so many external inputs in this world that we're trying to give inputs that actually reinforce who people are and help them move in a direction to get the most out of life. So we're constantly posting on, Facebook, X now, Instagram are big things. We're leaning into LinkedIn as we're stepping into the corporate space. So keep an eye out for that. And then you can check out our website, merakiperform.com, or you can email me, myself, Dan, at merakiperform.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I want to encourage anybody that's watching live or on the replay, if you're interested in performance and trying to figure out how to make you or your team better, reach out to Dan and have a conversation with him and find out how he can help you with that mindset and really increase your performance and your leadership potential. Dan, thank you so much for joining us today. We're grateful for the opportunity to chat with you and give you a chance to promote your business. And if you're watching this on the live or replay and you go, wow, I'd like to be able to promote my business like Dan did, leave a comment down below. I'll follow up with you. We'll get you connected. We do, like I said, 2 of these every single weekday, and we're doing it for 91 days. We're now, this is day 20. So we've got about 71 days left, and we'd love to get you booked. Dan, thank you again for your time. We appreciate it, and make